is not a game. This is a 12-week job interview. Never, ever, ever underestimate me.
14 people came to London in search of a job.
I don't like liars. I don't like cheats. I don't like bullshitters. I don't like schmoozers. I don't like arse-lickers.
They've come to battle it out for a job with Sir Alan Sugar.
I would have told you to piss off.
Tough and uncompromising, Sir Alan is at the top of his game with a global empire worth £700 million. He's offering one job with a six-figure salary.
I'm gonna fucking win this night if it kills me.
To get it, they'll have to work and live together and face a weekly business task.
You can't fucking fire me!
Do you feel the pressure is building?
This is the ultimate job interview.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
Last week.
There's a pattern forming and it's not looking good for the girls.
The dynamics of the group are four very loud-mouthed girls. Unless we see that and work with it, we're still going to be in the shit.
After the girls' team lost to the boys for the second week running, Sir Alan imposed a corporate reshuffle.
Adele, I want you to pick 3 boys. And Matthew, I want you to pick 2 of the girls.
With the teams mixed for the first time, Sir Alan set their weekly task.
Buying.
What we're looking for
They had to negotiate the best price on the same 10 items.
£28? OK, a deal?
Can you go with Rachel?
As one project manager, Matthew delegated well and played to the strength of his team.
Thank you very much, we'll take it.
fucking brilliant, come here!
Right, Miranda, you do not...
On the other team, Adele's dominant leadership created friction.
Respect for me if you wouldn't question what I asked you to do, that's all.
You asked me to make a phone call, you didn't say with what
Miranda,
content.
I'm not prepared to discuss it anymore.
That's fine.
In the boardroom, Adele's team lost and her colleagues were quick to point the finger.
Who let the team down?
I would say Adele.
I think Adele.
I would have to say Adele.
Not looking good, is it?
It's easy to have a scapegoat in this situation.
Adele fought back and chose Miranda and Ben to join her in the firing line.
You let me down, Adele. You have let me down. But I'll tell you what disappoints me the most. Lack of respect for the leader. And on that basis, Miranda, you're fired.
Miranda became the third casualty of the boardroom. Now 11 remain to fight for the chance to become the apprentice. Back at the house, the candidates are waiting to see who survived the boardroom firing.
When Sir Alan asked all of us a question, we were all articulate, polite and direct. No one was babbling, no one was... Apart from Adele, really, was stuttering. She panicked. She needs time to analyse things, get things ready. These kind of tasks, you need to be acting like that, and I don't think she's got that. If Adele comes back today, I'll be very shocked.
Again, you don't get rid of me that easily.
Loving you, mate.
Loving you, mate.
Give him the option to get rid of me, but...
I'm surprised. Hello, I am, I'll be honest with you. How are you?
I think the look of shock and horror when she walked in with Ben, you spoke volumes. Nobody could believe that for a second time she's walked back in when she should have been out long before.
I think it's good for you for coming back with your head held high, and because it will be a difficult situation, you know, for you to kind of come back thinking, knowing that people thought, oh, it's going to be Adele, so... I'm very surprised at the decision today, but I think ultimately it goes down to the fact that when you are in that boardroom, you have to defend yourself eloquently.
It shows that she's a fighter, and that's a good personality trait in business, so at least I know definitely she won't give up in any given situation, but still shocked. I'm happy to work with you again, but we need to deal with what we dealt with at the boardroom to make sure that that's all got out of the way. I did think after the discussion, when I left the ballroom, I didn't think you were coming back. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I fought with Miranda, and I'll say that to your face, as I've said behind you.
No.
She knows she's made enemies and she knows that they don't want her, and it doesn't make good for team dynamics for the next round. She may knuckle down, she may forget about it, but you know, we'll say the slate is clean and that's how it happens, that's the rules of the game. But I wonder whether or not that's true.
Today, Sir Alan is calling on Harrods owner Mohammed El Fayed for a bit of help. They've been hatching a plan to test the candidates' retail skills. Thursday afternoon, the candidates have been relaxing on a day off, but that's about to change.
Hello, it's Francis here from Sir Alan's office.
He's on his way to meet you at the mini market just down the road. You'll all need to leave in 20 minutes.
Perfect. Thanks, bye-bye. Got to get your arse in gear, I'm afraid. We've got to leave in 20 minutes.
I've got the impression it's going to be something like stacking shelves on warehousing.
Sir Alan leaves Harrods and heads towards the candidates. He knows that running any shop, big or small, takes the same basic skills of stock selection, display, and, crucially, selling.
Afternoon, everybody. Well, you might be wondering what we're doing here, what the significance of this shop is. The significance is that the proprietor has got, believe it or not, a very broad portfolio of skills in running his business. So the task that I'm going to set you now is about your total organisation skills in a retail environment. Now, I've got a friend of mine who's got a corner shop. In fact, you could argue it's a double corner shop. It's called Harrods. And Mr. Fayed has very kindly agreed to allocate 2 retail shopping spaces for each of the teams, and you are going to choose from a whole range of products what you're going to be selling. Mr. Fayed is going to allocate some staff and people like that to work with you. You will show them the utmost respect. Do you understand? You know, I don't like people talking down onto people. These people are helping us, okay? So in this case, teams, the one that takes the most money is going to win. The losing team, one of you, is going to get fired.
By early evening, they're back at the house. Each team has to choose a project manager. After 3 weeks watching previous leaders being grilled and put up for firing, the candidates are wary of taking on the role.
I'm just, I suppose, voicing my opinion.
If you don't mind me saying so, I think Tim should be project manager.
Tim's already been project manager.
I've done it before, I don't mind doing it again. I'll say that now.
Tim, you've led us before, you've done a good job, so I have no objection to it.
I'm happy again.
Let's do it then. So Tim's the man? Yeah? Right, well.
Good stuff.
Is there anybody here who would like to be project manager?
I don't mind, you know. Obviously
I don't mind. I mean, I'd love you to do it, actually.
I'm not sure.
Are you not looking forward to
No, I'm more than happy to do it, and I'm very excited about this project. Right. If you guys would like me to do it.
Yes, let's do it.
Yes, do it.
Well, if you'd like me to do it, then I'd be delighted to.
There we go then.
Lead the team.
Excellent, well done, James.
All right.
8 p.m. Both teams have to make plans for the next 2 days. One day to select products, the following day to sell them.
Because people are going to just walk past if there isn't anything there.
Yep.
There needs to be something which is bringing them in, and we can get a very, very quick and cohesive marketing campaign in place to get them in.
I think my biggest rival in this group is Ben and Sebastian.
Dolly Birds. I mean, that's my first thought. I mean, my game plan is very much to cover my back as much as I possibly can. It's about me doing my job first, and then the team second.
We want to target the audience that walks into Harrods. Why? Because they're already there. We're not
Sebastian now. He comes up with these ideas, and he'll have 10 ideas, and you'll think, oh, child, you're talking nonsense. But then you have one idea, and it's like, oh yeah, I didn't think of that, and it's a gem.
This is an interesting little concept, right? But in terms of signage, most people think the signage is on the wall. Can we do signage on the floor? Can we do signage on ceilings?
Okay, that's a good point.
Vouchers. That if you spend over £100 with us, you will get a free £10 voucher.
Exactly.
So that's exactly, and quite frankly, if we can't...
For James, it's his first time as project manager. And having agreed to lead the impact team, he now has to get them into line.
I think that differentiates.
Can I?
Let him write it whilst he's got it. Let's all talk one after the other.
The two more challenging characters will be Matthew and Paul. Matthew is very left field in his ideas and views, and sometimes that can derail the team.
We've got to do some promotional work. If it's a sandwich board man or if it's a leafleting man, it's something like that outside Harrods.
You know, we talk about barking up trees, and sometimes you bark up wrong trees, and sometimes you're in a different forest. I do actually think you're in a different forest here.
The movement is in a certain direction, mine is opposite.
Okay. Right. Paul has certain things over which he gets frustrated about, and this evening, you know, we had a discussion where he was looking very sort of po-faced, and I had to sort of extract out of him what he was upset about or worried about. You're not smiling. I'm not pleased about you not smiling, mate.
I think this is going to be our hardest task by a million miles.
I think it's going to be hard.
Yes.
James is a intelligent person that could easily lead this team, but I don't think he was the right person for this task.
Every single losing team in the past has had personal frictions. That has been the defining and deciding factor.
Tim's team, First Forte, burn the midnight oil, trying to come up with a business manifesto to give them the edge.
Fumbling about doing this. Yes. It's taken us an hour and 25 minutes to do this. We haven't got that tomorrow.
The main thing we have to do before we will go to see it today is our mission statement. We need that mission statement.
The fact that they're still in there at 11 o'clock after 3 hours, you know, talking, I think to myself, what are they talking about? Because they don't even know, really, what they're going to be doing.
It's a clear objective. Our objective is to turn over the most money in the allocated area of Harrods store.
As a business, we want to be recognised as a company that can enhance, build and develop the existing Harrods experience by utilising our knowledge and business acumen to ultimately increase revenue. I mean, that is it.
That is it. Yeah,
that's our mission statement.
Yeah.
We're not just coming in to make money. We're coming in to enhance the Harrods experience.
I think that's really key.
I like it.
It's not cheesy. That's not cheesy. It's
so can I use the
professional.
computer? Is that right?
When you do that mission statement, if you type that up, maybe on PowerPoint with a nice picture or something.
Yeah.
8 a.m, planning day. The teams must select the products they'll have to sell tomorrow. Throughout the 2 days, they'll be kept on their toes by the store's General Merchandise Director, Mary Gay McKee.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
Welcome to Harrods.
Thank you.
1 million square feet, 7 floors, 330 departments, and 56 buyers who travel around the world finding the best merchandise for the most luxurious department store in the world. So we don't just sell to our customers, we give them an experience.
Marigay has selected 2 almost identical areas at either end of the lower ground floor, where mainly Harrods branded goods are sold to tourists. But the teams must negotiate between themselves which area they want.
Both areas are equally fair in size and in potential.
Each team has been given a £600 seed fund, petty cash for marketing and promotion. Tim's team want Area 2, but are hatching a plan.
Let's say they want number 2, we want number 2. Turn around to them and say, okay, look, you give us your seed money and we'll let you have number 2.
Yeah.
If they want number 1,
yeah.
Fine. You know they want number 1.
Fine, there's no argument.
Yeah, no, there is an argument because you can still try and get some seed money off, pretending that you're giving them a favour by giving them number 1.
Okay, so you know what you're saying, Tim?
Yeah.
Comfortable with it?
I'm comfortable.
Okay,
it's time to do battle.
Good, you?
Very good.
Which room do you want?
Well, I was going to ask you, do you have a preference?
I asked you the question first.
Why are you asking me? Why don't you just tell me?
Which room do you want?
Will you let us have it if I say yeah, which one it is?
Ask my question and we'll see.
We would like to go for Area 1.
Okay. Well, I suggest if you want Area 1, we're willing to negotiate that. We'll have some of your seed money, a proportion of your seed money, and then we'll give it over.
There's no deal to be done. I'm not negotiating.
But the fact is, we've both got £600.
I'm not negotiating. If you want it so much, why don't you offer me some of your seed money then?
Because I put the proposition to you first.
And I've rejected it.
Flat out.
Flat out.
Can I consult with my team and I'll come back to you, yeah?
Okay.
They are the most competitive teams I have ever seen. Those 2 team leaders, I think we're going to have some fun over the next 2 days because those 2 team leaders are, you know, determined, both of them, to win. Okay?
Yes.
Have you decided an area?
We have. Have we? We'd like Area 1 if possible.
And you'd like?
Area 2.
Area 2.
I think it was a good strategy. It was a strategy that didn't come off, but we still got the area we wanted, they got the area they wanted. Would have just been slightly better off had we managed to take some of the seed money with us.
No, what we're going to do is we're going to go through the list and we're going to pick out what sorts of
With
things...
500 products to choose from, James's team split up to see what's on offer.
Matthew, do be careful. There's a good boy.
Tim's team sit tight and study the product list given to both teams. To create variety, teams must select at least 40% of goods from brands other than Harrods' own label.
Selling a dream, you know.
I am so loving this.
Okay.
Fabulous.
OK. Brilliant.
Guys, are we quite happy then? From this section, we're going to take those, that, and that little doggy. Yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
We happy with that? Excellent. Moving on.
You've sold millions.
We've sold like 150 of them.
And that was launched
this
on
morning.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Sorry, you sold 150
This morning, yes, please.
And what about Mr. Floppy Dog thing?
Mr. Floppy Dog, he's very popular. The tiny one at $7.95, he's really, really popular.
Right. Okay. So if we look at my product list, okay, we have a large Christmas bear, 60 inches teddy bear with sweater, and it's a Harrods item.
How much is it?
£1,200.
That could potentially just attract attention.
Marigay and Harrods sales manager Nigel are getting worried about Tim's team.
I'm a little bit concerned about First 40. I mean, it's 40 minutes since we gave them their lists, and these guys are still sitting down talking about the product. The others are well on their way to looking at everything on every floor before they sit down and discuss.
First 40 need to move.
They need to move. I think we both agree on that.
There's a 1 o'clock deadline for both teams to get their completed product list to Marigay. With just over an hour to go and 1 million square feet of store to cover, Tim and his team finally decide to look around.
Yeah, come, we've got to go now. Half Moon, we've said it. Let's go.
Thank you.
That's one.
So out of the whole store, can you show me the 10 best-selling lines?
This is the PVC bags.
PVC bags.
So PVC bags. So your PVC bags are definitely the best.
We need the bags.
We've got 4 different kinds of mugs.
James's team have chosen what they want to sell. Now they must make sure 40% of their products are not Harrods' own brand. Paul is in charge of calculations.
38%.
Right, so we've just got a couple of things to get rid of.
We're only 2% out.
Hang on. I've just got rid of 3 things.
Yeah, who's going to come with James? I'm going to go and see Margaret. Can someone tell me where she is? Okay. What?
I don't think you have done this right, because what you've done is 55. How did you do it?
22
Plus 55 is 77.
No, 22 divided by 55 times 100.
No.
I hold my hands up. Mental arithmetic isn't my best. But you see, quick things, quick sums, I can work out very quickly. You know, if somebody owes me rent, I know how much rent they owe me, I know how much interest to stick on top, and I know where to find them.
15 minutes before the 1 o'clock deadline, and Tim's team is first at the office with its product selection. So they get first choice of any big one-off items.
Right, I can see here that you're taking the £10,000 piano and the large Christmas bear one-off, so that's from that area.
We can lose tea if you want to.
Yep.
Get rid of it.
Quick.
Quick.
5.6.
Come on,
5.6.
let's go. Sorry, we've got to go. 68%.
We've still got too many.
Fuck it, I'll cross them out on the way down.
Okay, go on, off you go then.
Right, come with me, somebody.
Oh, that was stressful.
Where am I going to find it?
Quick, 60 seconds!
James and Raj make it to Marigay's office with only a minute to spare.
So you're going to have the teddy bear, large teddy bear with a sweater. Now, the only issue with that is that the previous team have already picked that.
I'm happy to make another selection very quickly.
So you can make another selection from there. I think this looks okay. Give it to my PA and she can input it on the system for you. Let's see if it comes up to the right percentage.
Oh, here we go.
Both teams can spend their £600 seed fund on promotional activities. Tim's team deploy professional headhunter Ben Leary to lure a face painter from the toy department.
I'll talk to her. Yeah. We were wondering if we could work with you, if we could bring you down to our area, because there's going to be a lot of toys, there's going to be a lot of teddy bears, there's going to be a lot of children-orientated stuff and madness. Yeah. And we wondered if we could work with you on that.
Yeah, I'm available tomorrow.
Yeah.
Are you responsible for the music department? My name's Miriam. Nice to meet you.
I'm Tim.
Tim.
Pleased to meet you.
This one is it. We recognise that things like a piano and a live pianist could be a real crowd drawer, so we're actually going to use this digital baby grand, have it as our central point, and hey, if we can sell the piano, then that would be great.
Nigel, supervising the product list for James's team, spots the maths still don't add up.
Okay guys, you've actually selected 76% of your products are Harrods. You need to decrease the number of Harrods products selected.
So we start at 83, we're now at 85 versus 63. Paul did the numbers in the way he thought was appropriate. What became very clear, however, as we were walking out the door was that in fact he'd done it incorrectly. So I think it's a bit harsh to blame Paul, but I will.
It's been a tough day for everyone. But once back at the house, it gets worse for Adele when her husband calls.
Missing you like mad. I'm worried about my Nana. How is Nan? 10 days before I came into the house, my Nan got taken into hospital, and as far as I'm aware, she's doing okay. But when you're very, very close to somebody, as I have always been to my Nan, it's a bit emotionally distressing. So that has been on my mind a lot during my stay here at the house.
Unfortunately, some people here, they do think about their families at home and it really gets on them and it eats them up. And so consequently, those sorts of people aren't devoting 100% of themselves to their tasks, and they are obviously then the weak links.
The teams must get an early night. Tomorrow will be a long day. "6 a.m. selling day. The two teams have 4 hours to display their products. And in volume retailing, presentation is everything. Clues on how to do it are all around them.
We've got loads of floppy dogs.
You only want one dog in the bag, don't
Do you? I think we just...
I think one clambering out the bag is cool. And then we've got a nice
We
Marlborough
zip him
bag.
up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Tim's team have ordered bears that range from £5.95 to over £1,000. They're hoping this giant one will be a crowd puller.
He's not allowed to sit on the floor, but we can sit him on one of our boxes, and these are quite low down. And then he doesn't look as if he's got his legs spread, which looks a bit vulgar.
I got no energy to be thinking about that this time of the morning.
I'll help you put it on a box, and we'll see what it looks like.
What was these green things? Are those going to be put out, or do you want which green things? The green teddies.
And I think just scatter them around and just make this kind of look a bit more appealing.
Yeah, someone else's department. Okay.
Matthew?
Yes?
Sorry to be firm, but we're running out of time. I think boxes need to be put away, products need to be put out. You just get the right product in the right vase.
I think the general feeling towards Matthew is that we're fond of him because he's got such a kind heart, but he's very difficult with it and it's quite exhausting to be around him. He's so demanding.
We have finished doing what we're doing by and large, and ours has a fairly professional air about it. But I had to pass by the other side, and it's not very good. I've got to say, it's pretty rubbish.
Well, yeah, exactly. So you did it, Sebastian, so why did you do it like that?
Tim was doing this side. Anyhow,
It
what happened
takes so
to
much
change?
longer when you have to do things twice.
Eagle-eyed floor manager Sean is overseeing the product display of Tim's team.
I would certainly pay more attention to the emptiness in that bay.
Okay.
And the merchandising that you've done here.
Here?
And there. There are some definite issues with some of your...
Like that there. No, he's saying there's an issue with this.
Harrods staff have been instructed to give guidance, but not all the answers.
And there's a little bit of a gap there.
Yeah, but can't you just tell us where we've gone wrong? Because I thought that
You need to pay more attention to detail.
Yeah, but you're telling us now. I thought that's what you were doing now, telling us where we've gone wrong. you were like this over an hour ago. You say, I'll tell you at 9, so can you not tell us now?
I think you've got enough time to sort out the problems yourselves.
I know what that... God's sake.
Marigay arrives to see if James's team have done any better.
How are we doing?
I would fire anybody that produced that as a table, and I would most definitely fire anybody that produced that as a table. We got $7.95 signed. The bear's actually $19.95. Trading standards.
They wouldn't be too happy with
Wouldn't be too happy with you. Please do not tell me that there is a floppy dog hanging.
There is a floppy dog hanging.
You can't see it.
You do realise that that could potentially traumatise a child walking a hanging dog.
Right, let's left over. Somebody coming round and just poo-pooing your idea first thing in the morning is just so depressing. And I'm a very positive person. I've got so much energy, and even I felt like, well, if you think you're any good, you know, why don't you give us any help?
James's team have less than 30 minutes to rearrange their display before the doors open to the public.
I don't think she objected to some of the little ones in the top, actually.
Well, I'm too scared to blooming do anything now, so let's not have any creative thoughts.
On an average Saturday, 35,000 people will come shopping here. They'll spend £1.5 million. Many will be tourists, heading for the lower ground floor where the two teams are waiting. Marigay has one last pearl of wisdom.
We will open for business in 1 minute's time.
So the only thing I would say as well is it's very, very important to be as nice as possible to the customers, because we have a saying in Harrods, which is, teeth make smiles and smiles make sales. You cannot get a big sale if you're not smiling, okay? And may the best team win.
You can be chief sales. Paul.
Sorry, just quickly, we're open for business. You need to be customer focused now. Yeah.
Okay, absolutely. Right, so you'll concentrate on
10. The attractions organised by Tim's team are already pulling in the crowds. They've got their baby grand piano, a face painter, staff from the toy department to help sell their demonstration lines,
Hello, sir.
and the largest teddy bear in the store.
Have you seen the smaller ones that we've got just in the corner? We've got smaller ones which are so soft. Would you like me to get you some?
Tim, are you free?
The best buy that we had off that list was that bear. That bear stopped everybody in its tracks. Even if they just smile, laugh, it gives you that second to just go to them and say, OK, like that bear, do you want another bear which is over there, which is good.
That's for you, thank you. Thank you very much.
Looks like it's going well. It's about £200 we've taken already today. So.
Ben picks up some selling tips.
If someone's holding 2 items in their hand and they're looking at another item, you go up and give them a basket, because you're then making them take it and put more stuff in. But it's taken a bit of time to try and learn that sort of technique. Seems obvious, but if you've never done it before, it's not.
We've got a pianist, we've got the face painter, we've got the magic...
Sir Alan's advisors, Nick and Margaret, are on the shop floor watching both teams. Tim's head start impresses Nick.
Is it down to location? Is it down to salesmanship? Is it down to product? I don't know. But at the moment, they're outselling Impact heavily.
With business failing to take off, James and his team stand and watch as Tim's team keeps selling.
of activity going on over there, which scares the living daylights out of me.
They've got off quickly, but it's a long race today. It's a 10-hour day.
I think we need to review our strategy a little bit.
I
think otherwise we're just going to be down.
We need to get more aggressive.
Is there anything that we can get?
As long as we get money in the till, I don't care what we do.
James searches out the manager of the toy department for some advice.
Have you got any of the pigs or the rabbits?
No, we weren't allowed
to buy those. We've got the floppy dogs in various sizes. You know,
we'd love to get rid of those. We've actually got some Mulberry bags as well. How do you get rid of those?
And a £2,000 hamper.
Did you get any demonstration lines?
No.
Right. Okay.
Have we got all the wrong products?
Yeah. You've got too many soft toys, you haven't got enough demonstration lines. I've got one of the teams with me and they're having a bit of a hard time downstairs. I think the other crew are kind of doing better than they are, but they've chosen some really dodgy product. They've got all soft toys, they've got floppy dogs coming out their ears. Okay, so you'll try and get Raphael and Natalie, yeah? Okay, cheers, bye. Why don't you buy a big Christmas, have you got both sizes of the Christmas bear? Buy a big and a small, or buy three items from the Christmas bear range and they get a gift voucher?
Yeah, good plan.
You know, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
And how do we advertise that, given that we're not allowed to get signs and things printed up and everything else?
You've got to be gobby. I mean, you really need to get someone to go and just be approaching every customer. That's probably what we would do.
That's very kind. Thank you. Cheerio.
While the toy department try to come up with some attractions, James takes Paul for a break.
I'm not feeling despondent, I'm just not feeling...
We haven't peaked yet, have we? We've made steady progress today, whereas they've got off to a flyer, but I think their flyer will start to slow down. If we sell all our stock, we've won, basically.
Yes,
I think
but when I last looked, there were quite a lot of things on the shelves.
I noticed that.
The toy department have found a bear costume. It's designed to be worn by a small woman, but James has other plans.
How long would you recommend somebody does this for?
20 minutes max, isn't it? 15?
Yeah, 20 minutes to take a break, 20 minutes to take a break.
Right. OK, I'll give it a go.
Okay. Don't leave him down here for another 10 minutes because he'll pass out because it's absolutely boiling in there.
OK.
If I take a teddy bear, put it into a child's hand, it takes a rotten dad to say you're not having it and yank it out. So that's what I was trying to do. You know, I was trying to be fun to the crowd, but I was also remembering that we were there to shift teddies.
She'd like you to touch the softest teddy bear in Harrods, and she'd like you to go and have a look at her.
Oh,
she's all in that corner
soft.
over there. It's gorgeous. There's one bear in particular that if you touch it, it's absolutely soft to the touch, and people, as soon as you give it to them, they're like, ooh. So we're just encouraging people to touch it and just get rid of them that way, really.
Paul, disguised as Rosie the bear, does the trick.
2, 3, Feel him, he is gorgeous.
Tim's team have been so busy they've ignored their face painter, Christine. She's been working flat out for 5.5 hours, so she's off for a break.
Hello, do you like one of these?
Adele's been looking for her. She's got a customer waiting, and she's complained to Sean.
Where's she gone?
Face painter had gone to the toilet, but Adele thought it was Harrods' responsibility to manage her staff, whereas in fact it's their responsibility to manage their own staff.
Those guys, it's like getting blood out of a stone, you know, it's just ridiculous. They've just lost their face painter, well, didn't lose, went to the loo, and they wouldn't give me any information.
There's been a little bit of conflict on the floor. Adele herself has become quite pressured in some situations.
That is just my general demeanour. It's not, if it's offensive to some people, then it's not intended to be offensive, but that is just my demeanour.
For James, the toy department have found some entertainers, and they seem to be working.
Look at this.
We saw what was going on the other side and that a lot of commotion was attracting people, so we acted accordingly. Hello! Where are you from? We didn't copy them, we just used their idea more effectively. Rosie, which bag do you prefer?
Whatever you say, I'll get it.
She likes that one. All right.
I'm much more confident about how we're going because I think the team's just really just throwing everything at it.
Busy bears need breaks too.
I was in tears from the moment I saw him in the costume to the time he took it off. He was magnificent. Get off your stink! Now get your head on and come on. We haven't got time to piss around. This is valuable selling time. It's...
Good job I didn't come here for the sympathy vote. This is a girl's outfit, by the way.
Babe, did you
My
see the
feet
look
are sticking out.
Did you look
they're
on
size
them?
4. I'm a 9.
You are fantastic fun.
Don't forget, it's 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off.
Right, okay.
$4.15. Marigay calls Tim and James to give them a sales report for the last 6 hours of trading.
I think you're both going to be quite surprised by the results. First Forte have taken at 4 o'clock £1,659, and Team Impact have sold £2,141. So you've got a lot of catching up to do.
Yep.
I'm telling you, one full shopping basket could make the difference at the end of the day.
Right. Impact has sold 123 items and grossing £2,141. I've got some figures, and we are ahead.
We've got to keep on going though, Sire.
£2,141. Right.
I think the news will be difficult for First Forte. In some ways it will make them more determined because they'll like, oh my God, we've got this uphill struggle to do. But I think it will also demoralise them secretly inside, although they won't say so.
Okay, let's get running. Get baskets. Every customer who comes through that door, you stop them.
The trading results are the final straw for Adele.
You've got 1 hour left to go. So you've got to try your hardest, all right?
I know, but I am that far from going, so... Yeah, I'll wait.
Draw a crowd again.
Where is Adele?
Okay.
You all right?
Yeah, thank you. It's nothing to do with you, don't worry about it. All right, thanks, Tim.
She's a bit stressed at the moment with regards to all the stuff that's happening. So I haven't spoken to her specifically about what happened downstairs, so I don't know why she was upset before. But I'm obviously giving her a hug, said just listen, go and chill for 5 minutes in the stock room, just take a breather.
Okay. But I mean, you could buy one of these and one of these little ones. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Ben, more used to a desk job, is another member of Tim's team finding it hard work. He's never sold in a shop.
At this precise point, I'm feeling very, very tired. I've never sold anything to anyone in a retail environment in my life. It's not something I'm used to at all. Which ones do you want a basket to put them in? I've never dealt with public, so I mean it's as far removed from what I do as, you know, feeding animals at the zoo.
Both teams still have stock on their shelves and petty cash left, which they now exchange for gift vouchers to offer as an incentive to customers.
Hello.
In terms of paying you?
If you get 2 of the bags, you get a free £5 voucher.
Just to let you also know, madam, that if you spend £30 with us today, we will give you a £10 free Harrods gift voucher.
Both teams have changed their tactics in the gift voucher scenario with the offers that they're giving customers, but now things are getting desperate and they're trying everything they can to make the most money.
I don't know how much there is. 6? Yeah, it's 20. Yeah, we're going to get rid of all of them.
If you spend £30 in this section, we will give you a £10 gift voucher.
So if you buy a teddy, we give you £5.
Any 2 items from this section and you get a free £5 voucher.
If you buy something else for £5, we will give you that £10 gift voucher now, in your hand, anything that you like.
It got to ridiculous levels of, I think it was, buy 20 quid's worth of stock and you get £10 worth of vouchers. Gordon Bennett, that was a deal of the day at Harrods.
That's one purchase, and we can give you £10 now. Can I have £10, please? I've made a purchase. Thank you.
There you go, another receipt.
The vouchers are also working well for Tim's team as they try to claw back the £400 they were losing by at 4 p.m. Even Adele has pulled herself together and is selling hard.
And the bear in the bag's quite nice as well. That's £9.95. That's less. It's working now. I'm getting every sale almost. There's the odd one that still wants to browse, but they usually end up at the till. So I do think that we should hopefully win this task, providing we keep this level of energy up.
Harrods will be closing for business in a few minutes' time. And our service...
As 7 p.m. draws closer, James's team give one final push to try and make sure they don't end up in the firing line.
I'm tempted to say, look, buy a Marlborough bag and I'll give you 80 quid's worth of vouchers. If you buy one of our weekend bags, I will give you £60 worth of Harrods vouchers straight away.
They are mulberry, they're about £250. We will give you £50 in your cash in vouchers if you buy one today.
So that's about £250.
Guys, I'm giving £50 to the first purchaser. That's what, it's a race against time. It's a race against time. This one is £275.
30, 35.
I'm prepared to give 60 if the lady
50.
buys now. Hooray!
Brilliant.
Thank you, ma'am. Excellent deal. Well done.
I think the Salesperson of the Year award goes to Sai, who has just been unbelievable. She is an unbelievable sales lady.
And there's one more team member for James to thank.
That, I have to say, was a sterling effort. I have to congratulate you.
Don't congratulate me, congratulate Rosie Bear.
For now, there's time to relax before Sir Alan calls the teams to his boardroom tomorrow. The question on everybody's mind is, who's won?
I'm still silently confident that we could have pulled it off because we worked so hard.
When I saw the other team and what they had going on in their area, it kind of knocked me a little bit.
Every time we looked over into their section, which was about 50 feet away, their tills were surrounded.
Quite frankly, I think that they did have some really good ideas that, quite frankly, we just didn't.
Looking at them compared to us during the day, I think we were all very surprised when we got the middle of the day sales figures in and actually they were £400 ahead.
For the first time, I think maybe we thought, you know, we could win it.
We sold in those last few hours. We really went for it.
People were leaving Harrods with products they didn't think they would have ever bought, that we sold them, and that's what it's all about.
The boardroom tomorrow is going to be a nasty affair because there is no clear winner. None of us know who it's going to be.
(9 a.m). The teams have an appointment in the boardroom. They're about to find out who's won.
Good morning. Impact. From my report, I heard that you were a bit disorganised in the beginning. Wasted quite a bit of time, running around like headless chickens, all because Paul had a problem counting, is that right? Yeah. Tim, you lot were very enthusiastic, hustling, bustling around, creating a lot of excitement. You look very, very busy. All right, let's get down to the actual numbers. Margaret, tell me about Impact.
Impact took £3,295.38.
Nick, well, at close of business, first forte sold £3,108.50. So, close call.
Well, you've done it again, Impact.
Congratulations to our competitors, really well done. But I'm 100% proud of my team and what we achieved on that day.
Impact, I've got a treat for you. I've got a helicopter organised for you. You're going to go up and you're going to have some great sights of our country. You're going to see some stately homes from the air. It's going to be a great day, OK?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You people, you're going to come back in here later. We're going to go through this thing in much greater detail. Regretfully, one of you is going to get fired. So, off you go. I'll call you lot later.
That was so close.
Congratulations, my darling.
While James's team head off for their treat, Tim's have time to reflect on a narrow defeat.
Gutted, absolutely gutted. And it's no disrespect to them, but they were just lucky. They were just lucky.
Because we had better ideas, we were more creative, like you say, Ben, much better organised.
We got unlucky by not selling one bag.
I think for the lads on our team, well, it's only their second defeat. I hope they don't feel like us girls bring them bad luck. For myself and Adele, it's a pretty tough pill to swallow 4 times in a row, and I'm really not used to losing.
I'm 100% proud of what we did, and I stand by that, whatever. Now that we know we're on the losing side, I've got another bridge to cross, which is obviously picking 2 people to accompany with into the boardroom for the firing. What I'll be listening for is people's professionalism. It's part of a job interview, and I think everybody should be conducting themselves in a professional manner.
It wouldn't surprise me if I'm in the boardroom again, just for the sheer fact that the rest of the housemates know that I'm upset emotionally about people at home.
I'm guessing it's going to be Adele, because she's not very good at coping under pressure, and she can become quite snappy. And I know she upset 1 or 2 of the Harrod staff.
I personally don't think that Sean conducted himself professionally throughout the day.
It seems like she's blaming everyone else for the lack of success. If you lose, you lose. You try and save face, you don't make yourself look a prat. I think Adele, to a certain extent, has done that. You know, she's blaming the Harrod staff and the other team, and that's not the right thing to do.
I do feel for the other team a lot because I've been on the losing team and it's just not a nice feeling, and especially for this one because it was so very, very close.
The fact that they'll be on a down, to tell you the truth, they're always on a down. This is the 4th time they've been on a down.
Back in the boardroom, the losers are about to face Sir Alan. He wants to know who is to blame.
Francis, can you send them in, please?
Of course. You can go through to the boardroom now.
Francis?
Tim, why didn't you win?
We didn't win because the other team had an exceptional salesman in the person of Syra, who managed to sell a bag at the very last moment, which beat us by that £100. If they hadn't sold that bag, we would have won. And as the sales figures will show, we did an amazing, amazing job.
But you didn't win?
We didn't. No, we didn't.
Why do you think the bag sold, Miriam?
I think luck definitely was an element in that sale.
Don't you think it was a little bit more than luck that they sold their bag?
I've never said it was wholeheartedly down to luck that they sold it. I've also credited Sarah in her sales technique in order to get there, and I respect her for doing that.
You know, you say all the nice things and all the right things. You do realise, you know, you're in the firing line here.
What about selling? Who was the worst at selling?
Each of us have individual talents and different personalities, and that comes out in our selling technique. Everybody sold lots of items, and that's there in the figures. So I don't think there was any bad sellers at all.
Ben, you know, I was informed that on Friday that you did put in your share of input of getting the thing organised, but it didn't come across to me that you were actually using any kind of special salesmanship skills. What's your call on that, really?
What I was trying to do was stand just outside of our area and drag people in and pull people in. And I believe, and I certainly hope my team believe, that I did that very successfully.
Yeah. See, that don't reconcile with you being found in the storeroom lunchtime, being exhausted, as if this was too much of a trauma for you.
I wouldn't say traumatised, no. I would say that I took that 20 minutes.
Exhausted?
Yeah, you know, I think everyone was exhausted. It's a long day.
Do you feel the pressure is building up on you to perform now, actually perform in areas which, as you keep saying to me, these are not really my forte?
I think you probably agree, Sir Alan, that a lot of people work well under pressure. So I'm one of the types of people who, if pressured, I perform.
Sebastian, you know, we've been here several weeks now. You know what doesn't come out about you to me is that no one person has turned around to me and said, whoa, Sebastian really did, he was really, whoa, he done this, he done that. It seems to me that you're a peripheral person.
And Sir Alan, as project manager of this, I have a better insight into how these guys perform than yourself does, and I can assure you that Sebastian was not a lame mover in the team.
You know, Tim, you make sure you don't dig a hole for yourself, Tim, by being too nice, right? Because very shortly I'm going to ask you to pick two of your colleagues, you know. You won't be able to pussyfoot around that and come up with any nice cliches and things like that, you know. You're going to have to be decisive. As a team leader, you put yourself up front. Miriam, why did this team not win?
Ultimately, we lost because we didn't have a high enough volume of sales on Saturday.
I mean, a future employee of mine, of which one of you may be, should be able to come to me and analyse what they think went wrong. Now, you might not consider anything went wrong. I do, because you lost. Adele, what went wrong?
We picked products that were varied in price from £2.25 right up to, obviously, the big teddy bear, £1,200, and beyond that, the piano at £10,000. So I think we concentrated perhaps too much on variety. The other team seemed to stick to one idea, and that was the teddy bears. I think that is what helped them to win.
Did I hear you say that you was actually, you know, having a slight altercation with one of the Harrods staff about you asking him his opinion on the signage?
Before 9 o'clock, he was saying he can give us advice after 9. After 9, he was saying, I can't give you any advice, it's the attention to detail. My argument to him is, why have you said before 9 that you can, and then you're saying you can't?
Argument is the word. Argument is the word.
Sir Alan, everybody had a problem with Sean. Sean was very rude, he had the wrong attitude.
How does that reconcile with your looks on the day?
I thought he was very professional and was doing as he was told to do, and I'm surprised to hear you say that everybody had a problem with him.
He was very arrogant and rude in his approach. You have to... I always say, well, you've got to give respect to get respect. It's a reciprocal thing, and...
But outside the little corner shop, I made a specific point about these people are doing us a favour. Be under no illusion. They owe us nothing. We owe them. And this fellow, who I spoke to myself in the end, and your name pops up all the time of confrontation.
Well, Sir Alan, you know, if that's how he saw it, I'm sorry, but I have to disagree.
I don't think it was only how he saw it, Adele. Let's move on. Ben, one of you's going today. Why'd you lose? Tell me. Simple terms.
OK, simple terms. I think there's no place in business for high emotion. At one point, Adele did become very emotional throughout the day, certainly with the altercation that she had with some of the staff. And that emotion, I think, just kind of wiped her out a little bit for the rest of the day.
The fact of the matter is, and I've said this for the last 2 weeks, I'm not in the right place here. And it will come as no surprise to you, Sir Alan, that I don't enjoy what I'm doing. I've never been so undermined and demeaned in all my life to do some of these things.
What is demeaning about stocking an area of a shop and selling
No, I haven't got a problem with that. I do that all the time. I am a retailer. I have got personal emotional problems that's happening in my life. I'm sorry, this isn't for me. I am going to leave today. So, Sir Alan, I'd like to make your job a lot easier, and Tim, I'd like to make your job a lot easier. I'm going to leave it at that.
You know, it's an easy way out, Adele.
No, it's not an easy way out, Sir Alan.
It is, Adele. You know, look, Adele, I've been around a long time, right? You're a shrewd lady. Thank you for your little speech just now, but I want to tell you this, right? Despite what Tim might have come up with today, you was going to go. You read it right. Your reason you was going to go is because you took no notice of what I said to you outside the shop. I told you to be respectful to people. You have a problem being respectful to people, and I hope that you can contain that problem in the rest of your business life. I wish you well. I'm sorry about your problems that you may have with the family and emotions and all that stuff. It's a shame that it's gone this way. You lot are dead lucky. That's all I can say to you.
Not the note I wanted to finish on.
No.
Personally.
There was one person that I believed deserved to get fired, and she got fired.
I mean, Sir Alan made it very obvious towards the end as to who he had in mind to go, and I just didn't expect her to resign.
If anything, you know, one would say it's cowardice. And, you know,
Listen, she's been on the losing side every time.
I'm disappointed, really, because she's bright. She's dead bright. At this time, a bit too bright for her own good.
They probably didn't know that I was going to be quite as spontaneous as I was, and given the circumstances, I was the easy target. I think that's been evident from the beginning, that people have wanted to knock me out quite early on in the game, and a lot of people have said in the house that I am a lot of competition to them because I've got a very entrepreneurial background, and I think that was a threat. As the task would have progressed, I probably would have become more strong in myself. I do believe I did have a good chance of succeeding and winning the competition.
One job. Now, 10 candidates. Sir Alan's search for his apprentice continues. Next week, Sir Alan sets a fresh challenge.
Your task this week is all to do with art.
This is going to be art
with a capital F.
I just felt a bit intimidated by them.
They were divvied up beforehand. Each of you teams are going to choose one of Britain's up-and-coming artists.
They've all got strong sexual aspects to them.
I'm no artist, but it was just lots of shagging.
You're going to take their work and you're going to display it.
How close are you to buying that?
Not very close at the moment,
Not
but
very
perhaps
close.
once I've had a few more champagnes.
Would you like me to get you some more champagne?
As the worlds of art and business collide, who'll be the next to go?
A good salesman doesn't let a sale go away.
It's like, well, fuck you, mate.
I'm sorry to say, my friend, you're fired.